What's up, everybody? It's Frederick Douglass Bussey back with another edition of Breaking Orbit Podcast. This is episode 23. Today, we're going to be talking about how to master human AI for exponential productivity. Maybe that doesn't sound sexy to you. Maybe it does, depending on where you're coming from. Well, I hear a lot of people talking about being more productive, how they can perform at a higher level, how they can achieve their maximum potential, things of that nature. And it's always something that a lot of people are trying to optimize for, get better, get faster, get smarter, etc. Today, we're going to talk about the ultimate way you can do that, why it matters, what's in the way, what's been keeping you from doing that, and how you can really realize who you're meant to be. Breaking Orbit Podcast starts. So over the past few months, really, ChatGPT was introduced by OpenAI, Microsoft Labs. They built this machine, basically, that is a chat platform that allows you to harness AI to be able to do some incredible things. And the AI platform over time has passed the bar in several states. It's done some incredible things in terms of what people are able to create through it, source code, hacking code, things of that nature. And so if you're in the tech space, it's pretty exciting. It's garnered over 1 billion users in a very short period of time. I think it took it about 5 days to get to 1 million users. And from there, it's just been up and up and up. And they've already gone to version 3, which is a paid premium version of it. And so there's a lot of discussion about what AI is going to be able to do for the world, right? And how it's going to replace a lot of people's jobs and things of that nature. And it's frighteningly scary on some levels because of how fast it can iterate and how fast it is changing things. And on the other hand, it's also kind of frightening that a lot of people aren't even aware of it. But I think if you were to use a third hand, the thing that probably stands out the most for me is that while we are talking about this version of AI, artificial intelligence, one thing that has not become standard fare is for people to understand the other AI, human AI. And when you look at AI, it stands for artificial intelligence, obviously. And so artificial means that it is a machine version of what human beings can do. And because you can do so many different things faster, it has been presented as this evolved version of human intelligence because of what it can do and what it can mean. And yet I think that today what we want to explore is the other version of AI, which is what I call authentic intelligence. Human AI is authentic intelligence versus the artificial. And the reason why I want to focus on that is because, one, that's the point of this podcast. It goes to the heart of what I talked about in my book, Breaking Orbit. But it also talks about something that is unharnessed in the world. And if you're an entrepreneur or a leader of an organization, of a movement, or whatever the case may be, the thing that we get to do as leaders is to help people to lean into their potential, to lean into who they were really meant to be able to harness their AI, to be able to create more powerful experiences, a more powerful and hopefully purposeful, happy world, joyful world for people to live in. And, as a person of faith, I know that there are always going to be challenges, and there is the good versus evil battle that is always waging onward. And if only on that level of in and of itself, if we are not actively and intentionally working to create something that is powerful in and of that space, then we are failing. And so what I'm challenging us to do is to be able to lean into that and think about that even more. And to understand it, to be able to discover your own AI, your own authentic intelligence, to really know what that means, then you are you are leaning into the purpose for which you were created. And oftentimes we have been conditioned throughout our lives to lean into what other people's definition of us should be. What are the hottest trends for jobs and careers, right? A lot of people are going to cyber technology now, cybersecurity and coding and development and things of that nature, technology, biotech, fintech, whatever the case may be. And they define themselves by the career that they want to orchestrate. And they are chasing this ideal, this hope for themselves of the life that they can create based on their career path. Or if you're an entrepreneur in the business you can build. And we are building these things to create this life. And we use the business as a vehicle to do that. But the business becomes all consuming, or the career becomes all consuming. And then we hit this pinnacle and we don't know why we're not happy. We don't know why the things that we thought would bring meaning to our lives do not. And so we go off and do other things. And maybe it's, we're in pursuit of a relationship. We want to build a family. And then we go off and do these other things that we think is supposed to bring us fulfillment, and it doesn't. And we say, well, I'm doing this for my family, when in reality, we're lying to ourselves. We're not. We're doing it to create more meaning and more significance for ourselves, because we don't feel that we exist in significance without those accomplishments, without that level of achievement. So if I haven't made $100 million by the time I'm 35, then I'm worthless, right? I don't mean anything. I have to be the next, Sarah or Mark Zuckerberg or Robert Smith or whoever, right? We have to be the next version of that person instead of being the best version of ourselves. And, you can get a lot of people who will poo-poo the woo-woo of personal development and things of that nature. But in reality, I think the thing that we overlook is that there is not business development or career development without personal development. Personal development is who you are, and you bring that to whatever job you have, whatever career you are engaged in, whatever business you're building, whatever that looks like, whoever you think that you are, whoever you want to be. You cannot be in pursuit of it. You have to be coming from it. The human brain is vastly more intelligent. It is the universe's most amazing supercomputer. And we are building machines to simulate that, to supercharge our productivity. But our gift, our ability to be of ourselves, is our infinite capacity to uniquely create value in this world. And if you have not learned how to understand your gift, you're not understanding the ultimate hack for exponential productivity. That is who and what we're meant to be, right? When you look at someone like a Michelangelo or Da Vinci or Picasso or Marie Curie or even Harriet Tubman or Frederick Douglass, you're looking at people who harnessed their potential to fulfill their purpose in the world. And their gifts stand the test of time. Their contributions to the world stand the test of time. And we can build on the backs of those individuals to be able to move society forward, the world forward, to save people's lives, to save their souls. What greater calling could there be, right? What greater aspiration could one person have than to do that? We have to understand that artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, all these other things are machines. They are meant to be used by human beings to move things forward. And because of that, it is the machine operator that has more value than the machine itself. And we come to idolize those things. And what we do not do is learn how to idolize and to revere the gift and the gift giver, right? The one who has endowed us with all of our ability, the source from which this comes. I call that God because that's the name I know him by. But I also know that performing at a higher level and producing at a high level is an outpouring from who we are. When you look at the natural world, everything in the natural world that represents life, that expresses life, does it through the art of reproducing. And reproduction is exponential. When a fish gives birth, it lays multiple eggs. When you want to multiply your herd, you must have cows that produce, right? And they may have multiple cows, but one cow produces 5, 10, 20 calves. And that is how you multiply. You are exponentially productive. When you look at the apple tree, I love the orchard principle, which says that every apple has between 5 to 7 seeds in it. And every apple tree in the organic space can produce between 400 to 700 apples, which means that you do that by multiple 800 apples times 8 seeds in every apple. Now you're looking at 6,400 seeds, 6,400 apples, 6,400 trees. Every apple contains an orchard. And everything in the universe, everything in the natural space must produce exponentially. We do this when we're human beings in relationships, right? One relationship between a man and a woman produces a child and produce multiple children, which in turn turns into a family, generations of lineage. We talk about legacy, right? That is the truest expression of legacy, exponential productivity. So what are you producing that can, in and of itself, reproduce exponentially? And we do that ultimately through our gift, by leaning into the things that we are created to do, by leaning into who we were created to be. The ultimate expression of who we be is the things that we do. And the things that we do produce the things that we have, and the things that we leave in others and to the world. And so if you want to be exponentially productive, you get to understand this thing. And the biggest thing that stands in our way is our inability to be ourselves, to lean into our own human AI, our authentic intelligence. Who you were created to be is a path of discovery and ownership and mastery. We call this dominance. When you have mastered who you are, now you're living at a higher level. You're existing and producing at a higher level. You're able to reproduce yourself through relationships and collaborations. And now you're creating exponential productivity, right? Exponential times exponential. Because two people that are aligned in their gifts can only create a powerful combustion of creativity, of productivity, of outcomes. Nothing can stand in your way. A lot of people say, well, I get in my own way. If I could just get out of my own head, right? Well, in your head, what is there? What's existing? These different thoughts of who you're not, thoughts of who you wish you were, thoughts of what you can or can't be, or what you wish you were, what you wish you would be, the negativity, all of these things that exist that come about that restrict us from being who and what we were meant to be. These things are not accidents, but they are the byproduct of not living in intention, not living with purpose, not living with your true purpose. And so we marvel at the artificial intelligence that's been created, the millions of dollars, billions of dollars that it's valued at, while we marvel at the changes in the world, we realize that if we had a world of 8 billion people who were all living in their gift, what we could create would be a vast, vast difference than what we see now. I hear a lot of people talking about this concept that business is war. And because of that, there's a lot of opposition. And this is the energy that they bring to what they are creating. When you see all business as war, you see everyone else as a warrior to be defeated, to be conquered. And there can only be one. It's a zero-sum game. What I am telling you is that it is not a zero-sum game, that we're all in this in an infinite game, that it is not about killing your competition. It is about finding the areas of collaboration. It is about finding alignment, the things that resonate with you and who you are, allowing you to be the best version of yourself, allowing others to be the best version of who they were created to be. This is not about destroying everyone in your path. This is about carving a path that others can follow. It is about building a network of pathways and highways, exponential productivity. We have no idea what we're capable of doing when we can be fully present in a moment. And that is the ultimate, for me, I've discovered the ultimate advantage of being in my gift is that when you're in your gift, you never have to worry if you're going to fail. You never have to worry about all the other thoughts that are swirling. And it is a challenge because we have all these thoughts that occur. I was on a interview one time, and I was talking about how I had taken up the practice of meditation at the time. And the guy, one of the guests that was there, he mentioned the fact that, he had tried to meditate, but it was just too hard. And I shared with him the fact that, meditation is not about quote unquote doing it right. Meditation is about the practice of learning to be fully present without judgment. That you are not chasing this ideal path to clarity, but as an author once said, as Jamie Smart says in his book Clarity, that if you look at a snow globe, when you shake it up, the snow is all around, right? And it obscures the scene that's in the snow globe. But if you set it down and allow it to settle, the picture becomes clear. And the same is true with water, right? If you're looking at a river or at a lake, when it's stirred up, the dirt and the sediment obscures your vision of the bottom. But if you give it time and allow it to be still, the sediment will settle to the bottom and you can see clearly through the water, because the natural state of water is clarity. And the natural state of the mind is clarity. It is only when the thoughts that occur become clouded and they're not filtered through the understanding of who you are that you can see what matters and what doesn't matter, to focus on your intention on one direction, one path moving forward. And when you are creating opposition, when you are in opposition to who you were meant to be, you will find opposition wherever you are. You will seek it out because opposition becomes your only source of significance, the only meaning that you can find in the world. But if you could let that go for a moment, you could find your capacity to be able to create at a higher level that supersedes anything you could ever imagine. So what I would challenge you to do today is to seek the path of giftedness, to discover your human AI, your authentic intelligence, to not be defined by what other people say, but allow yourself to understand the truest definition of who you are. Who was I created to be? What is the impact that I was created to have in this world? What is the truest expression of that impact? Through my gift. You will find yourself fulfilling your purpose, and you will discover the truth that when you are in your purpose, you cannot fail. Hopefully that's been valuable for you. Let me know in the comments and watching this live or on replay. What are you thinking about this? What are you discovering from this? What is your human AI? Your authentic intelligence? What is your gift? If you don't know, I encourage you to go and pick up a copy of my book, Breaking Orbit, Rip Out of the Regular by Unearthing the Power Within. It's available on Amazon. You can download it there, or you can order your copy. But most of all, pursuing this path of discovery, of ownership and mastery, this path of dominance, dominating through your gift, understanding that we have dominion as divine creations. And that is a tremendous responsibility, but it's not too hard for you to bear when you're walking in your gift. It's not too tremendous of a load for a bird to bear the responsibility of flight. All they have to do is spread their wings. That's all you have to do is spread your wings. This has been another edition of Breaking Orbit Podcast. I'm your host, Frederick Douglass Bussey. Ever forward.